Welcome back to the desert, everyone. Thanks again so much for joining me. Working on some more lights today. First thing I want to point out is some of the 3D printed marker light gauges that I made. I installed two just to see what they look like. But today we're working on some more landing lights, the white ones that go in between the two front mandibles on that lower section of the hull. I made the holes for them earlier. I drilled them out with a 3/16" drill bit, and then I chamfered the edges a little bit so the LEDs can seep nicely into them and just barely stick out proud of the surface. Tinning the ends of the leads. What I like to do for the LEDs that go in the end of the wires, as you can see, I just trim off a little bit of the insulation, and then I insert the LED lead into the wire and into the insulation. That way I don't need to add another piece of heat shrink tubing, and it seems to work okay. A little bit of solder for both the red and black leads, and then we should be good to go. Checking the distance from the first to the second LED so that I can split the insulation in the correct location. I'm doing this installation the same way, splitting the insulation, making a hole for the lead to fit through, inserting it, and then soldering it into the correct location. Testing the LEDs. I tested them at the end of the initial strip that I made, or the initial wiring harness that I made for the other landing lights, because that's how it's going to be installed. So I wanted to test it basically in situ without installing it. Working on the second side, same as the first. When I install them, I like to install them with the power on so that I can see where the light's going to be shining. Since the lenses are lenses and they do focus the light, I want to make sure that all the lights are pointing in the same direction and not overlapping. Same thing for the other ones. I like having that little band of heat shrink tubing around the outside, because when I glue the LEDs in, it actually attaches to that. So if I do need to remove them, they actually pop out quite easily, but they are held firmly in place. So you can see all four lights. A little bit of glue just to hold them in place. Liquid electrical tape. There you can see, just slightly proud of the surface. Same thing with the ones in the front. Next, working on the landing gear. I'm not doing anything special to them today. I will be adding hoses and cables and other details, but for today I'm just building them per the instructions. So a little bit relaxing for me, maybe not so exciting for you, but it was just kind of nice to be able to build something without having to think about it too much. There are 7 of them. They're exactly the same. There's 2 pairs in the rear for 4, and then 3 singles up front for a total of 7. And as any builder knows, building it is not very complicated. What takes most of the time is cleaning up all the pieces. I think I probably spent about 2 hours maybe cleaning all the mold lines off of all the pieces, including the little hydraulic struts that I installed later. Those took a lot of scraping to get the mold lines off. once I completed the initial build, I'm just putting a little bit of CA glue on the seams here and then wiping it off right away. It acts as a really good filler. A little bump when I'm done, but then I can just file that off and it ends up with a really nice smooth surface for painting. Time to work on the landing feet. Again, there's 7 of them. They're all the same. I did notice when I was building them, if you look at the picture in the instruction manual that I'm looking at, find it in yours if you are building it along with me. You'll notice that they didn't even bother to trim the pieces before taking the pictures. You can still see the little nibs left over from the tree sprue. They are held in place with a screw, and then I'm also going to glue them in. But just, installing the screws now to hold the legs in. These were the most annoying pieces. These are the little hydraulic dampers that go on either side of the foot, attaching it to the strut. I had to file off the ends, of course, and then the mold lines on both sides were pretty evident. So here I am scraping them off. I did that for all 14 of them. In the instructions, it suggests installing them in location and then putting the feet on before the glue's dry so you can move them around a bit. I found that it's actually easier just to install them on the feet first, having them line up with the center section because you can see how far or how big the gap is for this strut to fit through. And then once they're dry, I just install the strut and attach them to the top. Seems to work okay. Better than trying to do it in a hurry and trying to get everything lined up while everything's still wet, because then everything falls off. Making sure they're level and straight. Next, because I dramatically increased the size of the center section of the top hull that I made removable, I need to make some frame inserts. Although in the very front, of course, I have the forward hold, but towards the side, where between the main hold and the corridor, where you see right now, there's nothing there. So I don't want to have just an empty section of hull that you can look through. Also in that area there, I'm going to be mounting some LED lights, so I don't want them to be visible from the outside. So I need to make some inserts here to fit in between the frame so I can do some light blocking as well. I used paper to do a rubbing first, kind of like you do as a kid over a coin, and that gave me the exact shape of the hole. Then I just cut out the paper and traced it onto some thin plastic. And here I am cutting out the plastic. And there you can see the finished result. I just did 2. Next, some more lights. I need to work on the aft landing lights. Those are the 4 lights that go in between the aft landing gear. Rather than actually making new lights, since I'm going to be installing larger lights for the 4 landing lights by the ramps, I decided I was going to go ahead and use the individual lights that came with the kit, because I figure 4 lights in the back there will be plenty bright. Just as I was building, something arrived from Amazon, so you guys get a bonus unboxing. Got some more connectors, JST connectors, and then I needed a better wire stripper, because the wire stripper that I had only went to 22 gauge, and this one right here goes to 30 gauge. So here I had the holes drilled for the aft landing lights, and you can see over there on the left I made some little pads of 2 pieces of hoppy plywood, because again I want the LEDs to be just proud of the surface. So I drilled a 3/16 inch hole, widened it out a little bit. Here I am making a little relief in the wood for the wires to sit, because if you look at those little circuit boards that with the LEDs attached to them, the wires go through and then bend around to come back out again. So I just needed to make a little space for them so the LEDs fit flush. And then with them fitting flush like that, they fit just absolutely perfectly. They sit just proud of the surface, so I think they look really good. Made a hole for the leads to come through in the frame. And then for the first time, testing the circuit board. And this is the board that came with the kit. I'm going to go ahead and use that as my power distribution center. It worked. It looked good, I think. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys in a couple weeks.